Welcome to the latest edition of the Brick Clubhouse. And by latest edition, I mean episode 7. I'm Chris, I'm one of your hosts, and I'm here with Evan. Say hello, Evan.
Hello, Chris. Good to be here with you tonight.
Yes, welcome. It's so great to be recording again.
We're back.
We are.
It's been a little touch and go.
Yeah, another little hiatus.
We're working on it.
But not near as long as the last hiatus.
No, not quite as long.
But first, we need to thank our sponsor.
It's true.
Bricks and Minifigs, San Diego North.
That's you.
That's me. That's where I go spend my days.
It's true.
And you spend some of your days.
I spent a couple of them. Less now than I did before.
Less now, yeah. You had to go get a grown-up job. So sad.
Well, I had the grown-up job. But
that's true. But
started.
It's really taking more of your time.
It is.
Please tell me you're not going to give up Lego, though.
No, of course not. It's a lifelong hobby at this point. I feel fairly confident saying.
So it's good to know we have you locked in.
And it's good to know that the store is always there whenever I want to come visit. And believe you me, I will come visit.
We would hate to lose one of our best customers.
Not best employees. Best customers.
Yes. Well, you'll transition from best employee to best customer.
There you go.
So, but we have a little follow-up from last time. We discussed the Dungeons & Dragons set.
Or D&D.
D&D. It's out. It's available.
Apparently it's awesome. Our employee Nathan said that he got it for him and his friends to play the campaign, and he built it, and he just was raving about it. It's like, he's a big Ninjago fan, and he could not stop raving about the dragon. And there's a lot of dragons in Ninjago.
Yeah.
So if a Ninjago fan is raving nonstop about the dragon in this set, I guess that's how you know it's a pretty good dragon.
Yeah. It looks good.
It does look good.
And there was a little hiccup, though, when we ordered. And we heard from a lot of people that ordered that set.
Yeah.
And didn't get their gift with purchase right away.
Yeah. So as many of you probably know, Lego likes to give away gift with purchases, or as some people call it, GWPs. This is where you get a free set if you spend a certain amount of money through Lego, whether online at Lego Shop at Home or at a Lego store in person. And sometimes there's different themes that they qualify for, and sometimes when they release a really big set, you have to buy that big set in order to get a certain gift with purchase. So for the D&D set, the gift with purchase, you had to buy the D&D set to get the gift with purchase, which was what's called a Mimic box, which is a box to hold dice in.
Right.
So you hold your D&D dice in it, but I guess it's like an in-world like monster or character called a Mimic, and it's mimicking a dice box.
And people were stoked for this gift with purchase.
Which, like you and I talked about, the only exclusive part of this set is the printed eye tiles.
Yeah.
There's like 6 of them. Like those 1x1 circular flat tiles.
But it looks great.
Yeah.
It didn't ship right away. But it sold out like
overnight.
Yeah. I mean, people that tried to get it the next day online couldn't get it. I guess stores had it for a few days. At least our local store.
Because we went to the Fashion Valley store on
Friday,
the day of release.
Yes.
Yeah, and they still had some.
Yeah. And from talking to my friends there, they had them mostly through the weekend.
Okay.
They sold out sometime on the weekend.
Okay.
So only a few days that these were available.
Yeah. So they sold out. And as some gift with purchases do, the price on the secondary market spikes. What did these spike up to, Chris?
I mean, at one point, they were going for like, on Bricklink, some of them were listing at like $150, which is
$150.
Crazy for this little gift with purchase.
Almost half the cost of the set itself.
Yeah.
You can make back half the cost almost.
Yeah. And we do have a few in store. They're not at $150. They're not at $150.
They're not, but they are pricey.
We
had one of our regular customers come in the other day, and he's a great guy. We love him. And he went over, he's like, oh, they have a Mimic box. And he opened it up. He looked at the price tag, and he goes, Chris, what are you doing, man? And we're like, dude, that's what they're going for.
And I'm under what chasm.
Yeah.
So
it was so funny. He was a good sport about it.
Yeah.
It was just like, nah, man, like that's the going rate.
Yeah. People that know that it's crazy.
Yeah.
But we do have them now. So those that may have missed out can come get them at the store.
Yeah. If you want to just Put your D&D
Yeah,
dice in
and
this
maybe,
Lego Mimic box. There you go.
maybe you didn't want the set, but you just want the box
Yeah.
for your
Or
dice.
maybe you also want the set, and we still have one of those in the store.
That is true.
So you can
You
come
could
on by.
pick them both up.
There you go.
So, and yeah, it's been a wild week in the store.
Been a good one.
Yeah, we're getting ready for May the 4th is coming.
May the 4th,
Otherwise known as Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you.
or whatever. Careful, we don't want to go into copyrighted material.
I said 4th.
That's true. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. You know Lucasfilm. But
Not personally, no.
really? They're my neighbors. We have a lot of stuff planned for that weekend
Do we
of
know?
May the 4th, but we're not quite ready to announce it.
More details to come.
More details to come.
All right.
If you're really interested out there, follow our Instagram account, Bricks Minifigs San Diego. Follow us on Facebook, and you can get the lowdown. But we will be letting everyone know what's coming.
Yeah.
And talk about all the new sets and stuff once May 1st rolls around.
And for those of you who have rewards accounts with us at the store, you'll also be receiving our email, I assume.
Correct.
That also contains the same information.
Yep. And yeah, so be on the lookout for what's coming for Star Wars Day. I can tease the return of the Brick Sabers will be coming back in a new color.
New color.
So not just silver and black this year.
Not just silver and black. There will be a third color.
The
color of a lightsaber belonging to maybe a Sith Lord, perhaps?
Perhaps.
So, but if it's not black, what color?
Yes.
Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned. We will let you know all about it because you won't want to miss it. But that's not the only thing happening in the store. I wanted to tell a little tale. We've talked about wanting to talk about these issues about cleaning. And it came up again this weekend because somebody brought in their collection. He comes in and prefaces it like, I have all these sets to trade in. I haven't touched them in about a decade.
Wow.
And they looked like it. But evidently his mother wanted to rent out his room, and so he had to clean it out.
Wait, you're telling me that this guy's mom didn't want giant dust-filled Lego sets in this guest room?
It's shocking. Because when we talk about, like, there's the Tower Bridge, there was the helicarrier.
The Avengers helicarrier.
There was the UCS ATST, the Republic frigate, Lord of the Rings pirate ship, like tons of awesome sets.
Great sets. Caked in layers.
Yes. When you don't
dust.
touch a Lego set for 10 years.
Yes.
And
not only dust, but like dirt.
Well, he confessed that he took the Tower Bridge out in his yard
and sprayed it
and
down.
hosed it down.
Yeah.
Before bringing it in.
Now, I personally cleaned the Tower Bridge. Not all of it. One of our employees, Wesley, cleaned like the middle section of it. I did a couple things here and there in the middle, but I mostly cleaned.
It was a group effort.
The two side builds that kind of detach on the two little blue base plates. He must have hosed it down and then just let it dry.
Yeah, let the dirt cake back.
Because it just dried back on and there was still a layer of dirt and dust on top of them. So it only took me a matter of a few seconds to take those blue base plates into our bathroom and wash them in the sink. A little bit of hand soap, but just washed them off and they looked perfect. They looked fine.
But in general, I wouldn't recommend taking a Lego set out into your yard
and just hosing it
off.
Not unless you're going to put in the tender love and care to dry it off and wipe it off and clean it off.
Yeah.
I mean, they're made of plastic, so they can take some water, right? Now, the Republic frigate was a different story because that set had stickers on it.
Right. Luckily, he did not hose that one down.
Did he not?
I don't think so.
Because you were saying you thought he might have because the stickers were peeling off.
Well, I think that may have just been age.
Okay.
Because the rest of it was not near as dirty as the Tower Bridge. But we get asked a lot in the store, how do we clean things?
How do we clean Legos?
So I thought, let's share with the people
Yeah.
how we clean things and what tools we use and maybe some recommendations
And
before they bring their sets in if they want to trade them to maximize their value.
yeah, and who better to talk about this with you than the guy who introduced you to one of our primarily used methods now?
Yes, you were a big proponent of the Swiffer.
Dude, the Swiffers. Yeah. So I had this question for myself in my personal collection a while back. Like, yeah, like what do people use? And of course, some of you have probably seen those ads for the vacuum cleaners, right?
Right.
The clean my bricks, if you will.
They're all
stuff
over
like
the
that.
place now.
But I also watched a couple YouTube videos, and I think it was Brixie actually, he's like, yeah, I take these Swiffer wipes and you just wipe them over. And I tried it and I love them. Now, they don't work for all sets, right? If you have like the Winnie the Pooh set or the Treehouse or like the bonsai tree or the botanicals, the little dusters are going to get caught on those branches and those little pieces, and that's tough.
It definitely works better on like big flatter surfaces.
Yes, so like
uniform
a
surfaces.
UCS set or the Tower Bridge,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. Because really, so what we've used at the store, we have a little handheld blower. It's not a vacuum; it's a blower. And we also use little makeup brushes. Now, the makeup brushes do really work well for the little details on the corners and stuff like that. My thing, like mentally though, is that it just kicks it back up into the air for it to then settle back down somewhere else, right? So I like the Swiffers because they trap the dust. Like they wipe it up and they take it off
They do.
into the follicles of the duster.
And it's good. I do love the makeup brushes though,
They help a lot
because they get into those crevices that you just can't get.
for sure. And I've actually come around a lot on the makeup brushes because when I first started, I was like, oh no, because it just kicks them up. But they help a lot, especially in those little corners and stuff.
Because on one of the sets that came in this weekend was the tumbler,
the
original big,
the first
tumbler.
big Dark Knight tumbler,
and it needed a lot of work, and the Swiffers would only get
right
us so far.
That's another example. Yeah, so I came in and I think somebody had already put in some work on that.
That was one I had worked on this week.
Yeah, but we both were like, oh, it still needs some more work, and so I took our smallest makeup brush, and I got in all the crevices and looked way better.
Yeah,
so it definitely works. I've come around on the makeup brushes,
and I think it's important to note that like none of these do anything to the bricks. No. Like it just keeps it, just removes the dust.
Yeah,
and
even when I washed off the pieces for the Tower Bridge, I just ran it under warm water. I didn't scrub really. There were a couple places where I took where I took the paper towel that I had used to dry it and just,
because I don't want people to hear us and think about like using detergents or stuff like that.
No, yeah,
you don't want to use anything that's going to harm the plastic.
Soap, water, Swiffer dusters, vacuums, blowers, makeup brushes, none of those will harm the bricks or damage them.
Nothing with chemicals that are going to mess up the bricks.
Right. Now, that is dust, or maybe even like sticky stuff. We get, obviously, kids and families bring stuff in, there's sticky stuff on it.
Yeah.
That you got to wash off.
That takes a little more. And we have the chemical-free wipes that we use.
Right. So that's cleaning like dust. Now, what about damaged pieces?
Well, let's get there. Before we leave the cleaning, I just wanted to let people know, like,
oh yeah,
the more you do take the time to clean your sets before bringing them in, we can give you such a better offer.
Way better.
This guy acknowledged the fact that they were filthy. You know, a lot of them he had been hanging from his ceiling since childhood, so he knew they were dirty, and he was okay with not getting as much.
Yeah.
But some people really want to maximize their offer. And so if you take the time to do that before bringing it in, it will help so much.
Right. Because we got to factor in, we got to pay our employees.
Yeah.
To it took us, clean those sets, and it takes a while.
Yeah. It took a lot of time for us, multiple people working.
Multiple days.
Yeah. Multiple days to get them ready. But they are ready. And we've got some great sets in the store right now.
That helicarrier is really cool.
The helicarrier. I had never seen the UCS ATST in person,
but that was a different trade. But that one,
but it was still
cool.
It was still dusty. Yeah, we had a few come in. One was like super dusty. The other one was only like
a
little dusty.
Yeah,
but the MTT
second
carrier,
MTT, with all the battle droids inside.
Yeah.
and the Droideka. Yeah, that
It's
MTT is a set that a lot of people wanted them to remake for the Phantom Menace anniversary this year, and that's a popular set.
yeah.
So
Which
if you've been looking for your brittle brown MTT,
I know I was so afraid. And that brings us to kind of the next
oh
bit
yeah,
of this is, you know,
like refurbishing,
refurbishing.
restoring
Because
sets.
sometimes sets you do like the brittle brown is a real thing. Like
Oh yeah,
pieces sometimes break, or what we see a lot is sun damage.
yellowing.
And in fact, I want to discuss with you a particular set that you ended up buying from the store,
I did.
mostly because we didn't have time for this project.
Yes.
But tell us about your UCS snow speeder.
Or yeah, or as it's lovingly referred to amongst the employees, the UCS sand speeder.
Yes.
Yes, that was Blake. He was the one that coined that term. Yeah, so we got a trade in. Let's see, this guy brought in a bunch of stuff, and it was almost all yellowed and sun damaged. So we're talking like white pieces that look yellow, light bluish gray pieces that look pretty yellow.
Yeah.
You actually got his Ewok village that we haven't fixed up yet.
Right.
That one had some yellow stormtrooper helmets and stuff like that. But one of the sets he brought in was the second UCS Snowspeeder. Now, for those of you who don't know, I got into Lego Star Wars collecting in about 2019. And so this was 2 years after the Snowspeeder came out, years after many other UCS sets came out. So I don't know all of what existed even, but I always remember that was a set that I'd seen it like in the background of a YouTube video or something and see it on a shelf, and I'd be like, oh, the Snowspeeder is so cool. I would love to have that UCS set. So this came in, and it was yellow,
It was bad.
like yellow brown, like looked like it came from Jakku.
Like I almost didn't want to touch this trade because it was so bad.
And the thing about yellowed white pieces that's interesting is that they feel dirty. It's interesting how that happened. It's like because they haven't moved, so there's probably dust on them too. But they just like you can feel that they're damaged. And so
And this guy somehow, it was like uniform, like the
yeah,
whole ship.
like he must have kept it just in direct sunlight. Now the bottom was fine, obviously, but like it was just yeah, yellow. I mean, he also brought an ECS Slave 1 in a different trade, and the entire back half of it was all yellowed. The light bluish gray on the back was all yellowed. Anyways, so I ended up taking this snow speeder home because I was like, hey, this is going to be the best deal I could ever get for this set. You kept the figures because the figures are worth a good amount.
Right.
So we kept the figures at the store, and I just took the ship. So then what I did is I went on to Bricklink, and I had never ordered like bricks from Bricklink. I had ordered a couple minifigures. I ordered the Harry Potter anniversary gold figures for myself because I didn't want to buy all the sets, but I wanted those figures. So I had some Bricklink experience. So I didn't really know what to expect. I went on. I looked up the UCS Snowspeeder second edition, and I went to the inventory, the set inventory.
Which is just there on the page.
It's just one of the tabs when you open up a set. Yep. You got items for sale, price guide, and then set inventory. Those are the 3 tabs. So I just went through and I created a wish list. And I created a wish list of every single white element in that entire set. And I added the quantity of pieces that was in the set. So I just made a wish list of every single white piece in that entire set. And then what you can do is you can go into your wish list and you can click on your wish list, open it up, and then in the top right corner, there's a button that says buy all. You can click that. It'll then take you to a page where it shows you this alphabetical list of all the shops on Bricklink that have the pieces that you're looking for. It's either alphabetical or it's listed by number of lots in your wish list that they have. And what you can do is you can filter it by US sellers only. You can filter it by new pieces. You can filter it by used pieces. You can filter it by any condition pieces. You can filter it by whatever you want. And then you can just click like something that says something like select like the best available price, right? And it'll go through automatically all those stores, and it'll automatically put each of the pieces into separate carts for each store to give you the most cost efficient way to buy all of those pieces. So it gave me, I think, 2 different carts. I think between 2 different shops, they had all the pieces I wanted and all the quantities of those pieces that I wanted. And it auto-generated 2 carts for me. And I think I paid a total of $45 for all those pieces.
which isn't bad to refurbish a
A
UCS set.
set that goes for over $200, over
Yeah.
$300 used on the aftermarket.
Now,
And they were, and I chose to get brand new pieces. So I did pay a little more because they were brand new. But to me, I mean, it was totally worth it.
now, if somebody didn't need like all of the white pieces
Right.
for a set, like
Right.
if maybe you just have 2 or 3 that are yellowed
Yeah.
or a handful, a great place to look that's even more cost effective than Bricklink is in our bulk tables.
There you go.
But you have to put in the time.
Right. So I had decided, I thought about going to the bulk tables and sifting through there. And I decided for myself to just go online and buy them because I had so many of them. But you're absolutely right. If you just need a handful of pieces, bulk table, because you don't want to spend $5 on shipping for $2 worth of pieces.
No.
Yeah.
You'd have to find where that tipping point was.
Right.
But it is a great place to find those pieces.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do come in working on things with their lists.
Yeah. Oh,
Go
all
through
the
the
time.
bulk tables. But
Yeah.
if
So,
you just it's a great way just to tackle the whole project at once.
yeah. And I wasn't, I had heard here and there about yellowing pieces, but obviously the people on YouTube that I follow, they do a good job taking care of their stuff. So I didn't really see it like in videos. It wasn't until working at the store that I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this happens and it's bad.
Yeah.
Since that trade came in, and this guy came in the day before Black Friday, was when this guy originally came in with his first trade with the snow speeder. Since then, the curtains in my room have remained closed 24/7 because my Lego display in my room in my apartment is all of it is directly facing the one window in my room. And so I have the UCS Millennium Falcon in there.
Yeah, and you don't want to.
And knowing that light bluish gray pieces can get sun damaged now, I'm like, oh my gosh. Can you imagine how horrible it would be to have to replace sun damaged pieces on my 7,500 piece Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the worst.
Yeah, I never have my Legos in a room with direct sunlight on them.
Yeah.
They're always, off to the side or,
Well, and that's why
windows or
a lot of the companies you see nowadays that make those plastic display cases for sets, the plastic has UV protection for some of
Which
those
is great.
companies to protect them. The bookshelf that we have here doesn't the glass in these IKEA shelves have UV protection?
Oh, I don't know. I'd like to think it does, but it's IKEA.
I feel like they might. I don't know.
We'd have to do a little research on that.
Oh,
but again, it's not in direct.
Right. Well, and looking at your bookshelf, it reminds me of another little project. I see your mystery machine up there.
Oh yeah,
the light azure, sorry, with the R. That color also yellows, and we had a pretty yellow mystery machine.
Yeah.
And I also got that one, and then we had some friends bulk that came in, and I got most of the pieces I needed from that. There was only a couple of pieces that were actually only ever made in that color for that set and the Simpsons Quickie Mart. So I had to order those on Bricklink.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, if you only have to order a few,
yeah,
that's better than replacing a whole.
And that was a good too, because I mean, people talk about treating the yellowed bricks with hydrogen peroxide, and you can easily go on YouTube and watch videos of people doing that. It works, it helps, but for a time, it's pretty well understood at this point that if a piece is yellowed, even if you treat it with hydrogen peroxide, it's going to yellow again.
Yeah, it's just a Band-Aid.
Pretty soon.
Yeah. You can make it look good for a time, but it's not going to stay that way.
Yeah. So if you really want to just replace the pieces, it can be a pain, but it can be a labor of love too. I mean, I put in the time I saved money, but I put in my own time.
And it was a set that was like one of your, like, I really want this UCS set, and I probably am not going to be able to afford it. It's retired.
Yeah. They were
for a long time.
When I started working at the store, there were 3 UCS sets that were retired that I really wanted. Oh, I guess 2. It was the Slave 1 and the Snow Speeder. The third one was the X-Wing, but they remade that before I started working at the store. So once they remade that, I was like, great, I can just buy the current one. Since working at the store, I saw the TIE Fighter, and so that I had to get that one because I didn't realize how massive it was.
It's pretty so good. Cool.
But yeah, so I was able to get a set that I really want for cheap. And how does this apply to you guys? Well, you guys might have sun damage sets, as we've discussed, but also some of you might be customers of Bricks and Minifigs San Diego North. And we have sold a couple sets that were sun damaged
Yeah.
that we didn't really want to put the work in to refurbish at a discount. And so we have sold a brick bank that was slightly yellowed. We have sold a downtown diner that was slightly yellowed. We have sold a Simpsons Quickie Mart that was pretty yellowed on the roof.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we'll have a set in the back.
Now, some of these sets too, one of the issues becomes stickers.
Yeah.
And
Because the sunlight peels off stickers.
Yeah. And you encountered this with your snow speeder, didn't you?
In a different way. So for the Quickie Mart that we sold, the sun had literally caused some of the stickers to peel off or to start to peel off and dry out. The issue with the snow speeder was that there were yellow pieces that had become, there were white pieces that had become yellowed that had stickers on them. So I had to get a new sticker sheet.
Yeah.
Now the sticker sheet for that set on Bricklink goes for about $65. So I bought a knockoff one on eBay from Japan or from China. And it worked. It got the job done, but the colors are a bit off. And you can't tell unless you're looking for it, but I know.
Yeah.
But stickers, those are a pain. Those can be a pain for sure. Luckily, that Mystery Machine set, the pieces that had the stickers on it were somehow impervious to sunlight because they were perfect. And I don't know how. I remember I showed you that. I was like,
wild.
I was, look at these hinge pieces. Somehow they're not yellowed, and I have no idea why.
No, it is weird. Like there are certain types of pieces that just don't seem to change
I guess
color.
The density of the mold.
Yeah,
I don't something. I don't know.
Somebody smarter than us will have to come up with that.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so if you're out there and you're afraid of tackling one of these projects, it's really not as hard as you think.
Yeah.
And we hear all the time from people that they don't want to buy used sets because, they don't want to have to clean them or they don't want to have to do whatever. But like some of these sets, that's the only way to get them.
Yeah, I mean, at least the only way to get them at an affordable price. Yeah, and so like if this guy that really wanted the brick bank, it's like one side of it was yellowed.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get a better deal than what we gave him for it because some of these sets are worth so dang much now.
Yeah.
A UCS snow speeder with the figures goes for almost $400 at this point, right? Up to 200, 300.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
50, whatever.
A used one.
Yeah,
but
that could be way off. But I mean, it's a lot. And so this could also apply if you're looking at OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, or you're in the local market or something, or Craigslist, and people are selling the set at a discounted rate because there's some sun damage. Might be worth going through that labor of love. And like I said, for me personally, now that I look at that snow speeder, I'm like, that's like, I feel a sense of like ownership over it. Whereas if it was another used set that I just stuck on my shelf, like I haven't rebuilt my used Slave 1 yet. And I forget that I haven't sometimes because I haven't gone through the process to build it and to fix it up. But the snow speeder, it's like, oh man, like I put in time and effort into that, and like that was fun. Like that was a fun process.
Yeah, it's just nothing like. I think some people hear, oh, you have to go on Bricklink and buy the pieces, and they get intimidated.
Yeah,
but it's nothing.
It's pretty intuitive.
They make it pretty easy.
Yeah, and I've heard from some customers. We've talked about this process with them in the store, and I've heard from some people that said, yeah, that's a newer feature, like that kind of like buy all.
It is
like auto fill your cart for you.
Yeah, they're trying to make it
is a
lot
feature.
Easier.
Yeah,
than it used to be.
So if you haven't tried it in a long time,
yeah,
it seemed like it happened the last time you tried it. Maybe it's better now. Give it another shot.
And I mean, I've had some hit or misses with Bricklink.
Some Bricklink
sellers that take a long time to respond or ship, or
what I found is it's the sellers that maybe have like one big ticket item or a couple big ticket items that take a little bit longer. It's the people that like you can tell that like their business is on Bricklink. Like if you're looking for specific pieces, those are generally speaking like if you go to the store and they have an entire inventory of just like pieces and pieces and pieces, like it's probably their business. They're probably going to be more on top of it, more responsive, hopefully. But you never know.
Yeah. And look at reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Read what other people's experiences are. Mm-hmm. Because like with any marketplace, some sellers are going to be better than others.
You might have to do a little bit more digging, but
Yeah, but it's worth the time.
Worth it. It'll be worth it.
It's worth the time. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to stop in the store, and we'd love to talk to you more about our experiences and
that's what we do,
and help you out.
Yeah, and this is why, for those of you that might have wondered or have done trades with us, this is why we tell you that you'll get more value if the set is built and complete and clean.
Yeah.
Because then we can just look it up, price it, and put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got to go through a couple hours of fixing it up and cleaning it and refurbishing it.
That definitely maximizes the offer we can give.
It maximizes your money and it saves us time.
Yeah.
Which then
everyone
saves us
wins.
money. It's a win-win-win. Thank you, Jim.
Yep. So I just thought it would be a good time to talk about, spring cleaning our Lego sets.
Yeah. Kind of in the dog days of April, waiting for May 1st.
Yep.
Waiting for those big releases.
So, and they're coming.
We're getting ready for
But next time.
We're getting ready for them.
Yeah. Like we said, watch our Instagram, watch your email, and there'll be lots of news of May 1st and May 4th.
It's always an exciting time for Lego fans, waiting to see what comes out May 1st, especially if you're a Lego Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
It's always an exciting time.
Yeah, and they've been a little later announcing their stuff, so
they're trying to keep it under wraps, but man, those leakers, they're ruthless.
Yeah. Next time, I'm sure we'll know a lot more and can share with everyone what's happening in the store and what will be available.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, say goodbye, Evan.
Goodbye, Chris.